Welcome back to my channel, Celebes. Please share and subscribe and press the bell icon for new updates. Way before Robin Roberts became famous on morning TV, she was just a tough little girl growing up near the ocean in Mississippi. She was amazing at basketball, worked super hard in school, and her dad was a brave pilot called a Tuskegee Airman. No, she was the baby of 4 kids raised with lots of faith, energy, and the quiet strength of a loving Southern family. Her journey from a small-town athlete to one of America's favorite news people is totally amazing. But behind the bright camera lights and smooth talking was a woman who would face terrible sickness, sad family deaths, and shocking lies from people in the very business she helped make better. This is the story of wins mixed with sadness and the power it takes to keep smiling through everything. Getting strong from basketball dreams to ESPN. Robin Roberts' story started in a place where being tough was normal and everyone cared about each other. She was born on November 23, 1960, in Tuskegee, Alabama. She was the youngest of 4 kids in a military family that believed in being proud and having purpose. Her dad, Colonel Lawrence E. Roberts, was one of the famous Tuskegee Airmen, African-American pilots who broke down walls during World War II. Her mom, Luca Marion Roberts, was the first person in her family to go to college and became someone who stayed strong quietly. These people taught Robin how to live with discipline, drive, and deep faith in God. Robin's childhood in Pass Christian, Mississippi, a small beach town where everyone knew your name and sports were super important, was full of good competition and big dreams. She was tough and fearless when playing tennis and basketball. But what made her really special was that she never let her sports skills make her forget about school. While many high school athletes took it easy because they were good at sports, Robin studied with the same energy she brought to games. She finished high school in 1979 as the second best student at Pass Christian High School, already showing the balance that would make her career special. Her next choice was surprising. Robin got offered a basketball scholarship to Louisiana State University, which was a really good offer. But when she visited the school, she felt weird about it. Something didn't feel right, it was too big and didn't feel personal. So in a moment that would change her whole life, she took a different path. While driving past Southeastern Louisiana University in Hammond, she decided to stop and look around without planning to. Feeling was cozy and welcoming. Even though basketball scholarships were gone, a tennis scholarship was still there. She took it. Robin's athletic skills soon got her a spot on Southeastern's women's basketball team. There, she became a star player. By the time she finished college, she had scored 1,446 points and got 1,034 rebounds, putting her in the top 3 players in the school's history for both things. To honor what she did, Southeastern Louisiana stopped using her number 21 jersey in 2011, something few people get. Her time playing taught her important lessons. How to be a leader when things get tough, how to lose without getting mad, and how to never give up. Robin finished college with honors in 1983, with a degree in communication. Her love for sports now matched by a growing interest in media. She started her TV career at WDEN TV in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, working as a full-time news anchor. But her heart was still with sports. Within months, she switched to weekend sports anchor at the same place. Even though the job paid less money and wasn't as important, it gave her excitement and meaning. From there, her climb up was steady but never easy. She moved through small TV markets. WXVT in Greenville, Mississippi, WSMV in Nashville, Tennessee, and WAGA in Atlanta, Georgia. In each newsroom, she got better at her skills, learning to write tighter scripts, ask better questions, and talk with confidence. She was often the only woman in the sports department, and sometimes the only black reporter in the room. But her realness, smarts, and quiet confidence made people notice her. Finally, in 1990, Robin's hard work paid off. She got a job at ESPN, every sports reporter's dream place. She started as a co-anchor for SportsCenter, quickly becoming popular with viewers. Her coverage was smart, fresh, and real, and she brought a human touch to a world often filled with numbers and showing off. She later joined NFL Primetime, one of the network's most important shows. By the mid-90s, Robin Roberts wasn't just talking about games. She was changing the game itself. breaking into Good Morning America and becoming famous everywhere. By the mid-1990s, Robin Roberts had already made a respected place for herself as a groundbreaking sports reporter at ESPN. But in 1995, another chance came along, one that would take her far beyond sports scores and game summaries. ABC's Good Morning America asked her to make guest appearances as a sports contributor. It seemed like a normal next step for her skills, but what happened next was anything but ordinary. Roberts quickly proved she was more than just someone who talks about sports on TV. Her natural warmth, caring, and easy way of talking let her connect with viewers in a way that went beyond just reporting. Whether she was explaining a big sports moment or interviewing an athlete about personal problems, she brought a sense of being real that stood out in the very competitive world of morning TV. Her segments were more than just informative. They were emotional connections for millions of viewers starting their day. Throughout the late 1990s and early 2000s, her presence on Good Morning America grew more frequent and more powerful. She wasn't just covering sports anymore. She was doing human interest stories, special reports, and eventually anchored duties. In 2005, she was officially named co-anchor of GMA, joining an anchor team that included the legendary Diane Sawyer and political journalist George Stephanopoulos. Her promotion came at a perfect time for the show, which had been second place to NBC Today in ratings for a long time. But Roberts helped change that story. With her at the desk, Good Morning America got much better. Viewers liked her poise, honesty, and the feeling that she was one of them. Someone who had earned her spot not just through talent, but through never giving up. Within a few years, the show finally beat Today to become the #1 morning program in the country, something it had never done before. Roberts didn't just help that success happen. She was the perfect example of it. One of the most important moments of her early years on GMA came in 2005 when Hurricane Katrina destroyed the Gulf Coast. Roberts went back to her hometown of Pass Christian, Mississippi to report from the damage. What started as a reporter assignment quickly became personal. Standing in the middle of the wreckage, Roberts cried on camera. Her family's home had been badly hurt. The community she grew up in was destroyed. In that open moment, America didn't just see a polished broadcast. They saw a daughter, a neighbor, a real person. Instead of hurting her believability, that moment made it stronger. Viewers saw in her what they rarely saw in TV anchors, someone who didn't hide behind the news, but lived it with them. Her ability to stay professional while showing raw, real emotion marked a new chapter in American TV journalism. One where being sincere was not just accepted, but loved. That same year, Roberts started Rock and Robin Productions, a media company dedicated to making content that inspires and lifts people up. The company became an extension of her mission to tell stories that matter, stories that might not be heard otherwise. Under her leadership, the company created amazing specials like Robin Roberts Presents, Mahalia, a movie about gospel legend Mahalia Jackson and Tuskegee Airmen legacy of courage, a documentary that honored her father's historic work as one of the first African-American military pilots during World War II. Roberts didn't stop at television. She also became a writer who wrote lots of books using her personal experiences to create books filled with motivation. Being strong and helpful wisdom. Her move into children's books like Bedtime, Bear's Big Surprise showed her belief in teaching values of kindness, courage, and hope to the next generation. By the late 2000s, Robin Roberts had become much more than a reporter. She was a symbol of grace under pressure, a bridge between celebrity and everyday life, and a light of hope for viewers across the country. Through every segment, every tear, every laugh, and every heartfelt moment, she had earned not just a place on television, but a place in the hearts of millions. Addison, fighting forward the cancer diagnosis that changed everything. In August 2007, just as her star was shining brightest, Robin Roberts shared heartbreaking news: breast cancer. She broke the news in a personal essay for ABC News, explaining how the death of fellow journalist Joel Siegel had inspired her to check herself for lumps. That decision may have saved her life. A lump was found, and the test results confirmed her worst fears. Roberts had surgery followed by 8 painful rounds of chemotherapy and almost 2 months of radiation therapy. During treatment, she admitted feeling disconnected from herself and the world around her. "I wasn't present," she told Cancer Connect. One of the most painful parts was losing her hair. But in a bold move that inspired countless viewers, Roberts threw away her wig on air in April 2008 and proudly showed her bald head. Later, she chose to shave it all off, taking back control. "I decided cancer didn't. Chemo didn't. I did that," she said. "As a survivor, I have a sense of responsibility." Kiffold Whites became a loud supporter for early detection and patient empowerment. But her battle was far from over. 5 years later in 2012, she got another crushing blow. This time, it was myelodysplastic syndrome, or MDS, a rare blood cancer likely caused by her earlier cancer treatment. Her doctors told her she had only a year or two to live if she didn't get a bone marrow transplant. The chances of finding a match were small, but hope came in the form of her sister Sally Ann, who turned out to be a perfect match. Surviving the storm, loss, transplant, and an unbreakable will. In August 2012, the same week Robin was preparing for her life-saving transplant, her mother, Luca Marion, became very sick. Robin started her medical leave early, driving through flooded roads after tropical storm Isaac just to be by her mother's bedside. On August 30th, Luca Marion died. Heartbroken, Robin returned to New York to go through an intensive 10-day chemotherapy treatment before the bone marrow transplant. In a later interview, she admitted feeling spiritually disconnected from the experience in another place. But her sister's selfless gift gave her a second chance at life. Roberts kept cameras rolling throughout much of her treatment, turning her struggle into a public education campaign. Viewers responded in huge numbers. In just one day, the bone marrow registry, Be the Match, saw an amazing 1,800% increase in new donors. Her return to GMA on February 20th, 2013 was a triumph of will and love. "I have been waiting 174 days to say this. Good morning, America," she declared. The episode drew more than 6.1 million viewers, the highest since the 2012 presidential election. Later that year, Roberts received the Arthur Ashe Courage Award at the ESPY and was honored with a Peabody Award for her openness and advocacy. But even with all the praise, the sadness stayed. In a 2021 interview, Roberts thought about her mother's absence. "I think she'd be cheering me on from her heavenly balcony." She said it was a beautiful thought for someone who had fought so hard to come back from almost dying, both for herself and in memory of those she loved. Facing injustice, betrayals, racism, and industry battles, behind the polished smiles and morning chatter, Robin Roberts has quietly faced deep unfairness within the industry she helped shape. In June 2020, former ABC News executive Barbara Fetida was placed on leave after reportedly making racially insensitive remarks about Roberts. During salary negotiations, the network later confirmed the allegations and Fetida was fired. Though Roberts did not comment publicly at the time, she had spoken years earlier about the subtle and obvious racism she faced early in her career. In a 2007 NPR interview, she admitted it was difficult getting hired at all, despite her credentials. Her father's legacy as a Tuskegee Airman and her mother's determination to attend Howard University pushed her forward. Even her work relationships came under strain. In 2021, reports came out about a private fight between Roberts and co-anchor George Stephanopoulos over ABC's handling of a sexual misconduct lawsuit involving former GMA producer Michael Korn. Roberts was reportedly furious at how the situation unfolded and expressed her frustration in a conference call, saying, "If this happened to someone on my team, I would have burned the place down." Though both parties later denied ongoing tension, the incident exposed the emotional weight she carried behind the scenes. The moments of friction only made her more determined. Whether battling disease, grieving loved ones, or standing up for what's right, Robin Roberts never gave up. She didn't just survive the system. She challenged it, changed it, and demanded better for those coming behind her. Robin Roberts has weathered more storms than most of us will ever face in a lifetime. Her story is one of determination, heartbreak, and grace under pressure, and it's far from over. What part of Robin's journey inspired you the most? If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories behind the faces you think you know.